Night had settled quietly over the apartment, the kind of silence that only exists after midnight, when the city finally exhales. Laura lay in bed, her room dimly lit by the faint glow of her phone screen. It was a small ritual she had. Every night before sleeping, she recorded voice notes, ideas, thoughts, reminders, little fragments of the day. She opened the recorder app and pressed rec. "Note for tomorrow," she whispered softly. "Meeting with Daniel at 10. I should suggest a new strategy for the sales team. Maybe focus more on digital campaigns." She paused, thinking. "And maybe bring up the quarterly numbers. They're not looking good." She tapped stop. Then she pressed play. Silence. Laura frowned. Nothing. Not even the faintest sound of her voice. She checked the screen. The recording was there. 23 seconds long. But it was completely silent. "That's weird," she muttered. Maybe the microphone had failed. She pressed rec again. "Testing, 1, 2, testing." She stopped the recording. Pressed play. Again, nothing. But this time she noticed something strange. The audio waveform on the screen moved. Small spikes of sound appeared halfway through the recording. Laura leaned closer. She replayed it again. And there it was. Very faint, barely audible. Footsteps. Slow, soft. Somewhere in the background. Laura sat upright in bed. Her apartment was silent. No neighbors walking above. No television. Nothing. She swallowed and pressed rec again. "Okay, this is getting weird." She stopped. Pressed play. Her voice was gone again. But the waveform moved. And this time there was something else. A sound, a breath, slow, wet, like someone breathing very close to the microphone. Laura felt a cold tension crawl up her spine. "No, that's impossible," she whispered. She pressed rec again, but this time she didn't speak. She simply watched the screen. The room was silent, completely silent. Yet the waveform began to move. Small peaks, soft disturbances. Something was being recorded. Something she could not hear. Laura's hands trembled. She pressed stop, then slowly pressed play. Static, a low whisper of distortion, and then a voice. Ancient, dry, like air passing through a grave. A single phrase. Memento Mori. Laura gasped and threw the phone onto the bed beside her. Her heart pounded violently in her chest. No, it's a glitch, just a glitch. She pulled the blanket over herself, closed her eyes, tried to breathe, tried to convince herself it was just a broken up, just technology misbehaving. Minutes passed, or maybe seconds, then a sound from the hallway. Laura opened her eyes. Her bedroom door was slightly opened. Beyond it, darkness, complete darkness. She stared, frozen. Then suddenly the hallway light switched on. Laura sat up. Hello? No answer. Her pulse thundered in her ears. Slowly, she stepped out of bed. Her bare feet touched the cold floor. Step by step, she approached the door. The hallway was empty. She walked through the apartment, kitchen, bathroom, living room. Nothing, no one, just silence. She returned to her bedroom, closed the door halfway, got back into bed, pulled the blanket up to her chin, and stared at the doorway, waiting, listening. Minutes passed. The apartment was quiet again. Then she heard it. The same sound, the breathing, the same breath she had heard in the recording. Slow, wet, close, closer, right beside her ear. Laura's body froze. She slowly turned her head, and there, lying beside her in the darkness, was a face, pale, distorted, eyes hollow and endless, a mouth stretched into something that was not a smile. The creature leaned closer, its breath cold against her skin, and it whispered softly, Memento Mori. Before Laura could scream, a pillow pressed violently against her face. Her hands thrust, her legs kicked, but the pressure did not move. The last sound in the room was the quiet, steady breathing, and then nothing. Because some warnings are not meant to save you. They are only meant to prepare you for what comes next. Remember this: not every message is meant to be heard. Not every voice belongs to the living. Sometimes the dead when the world finally falls silent, your devices may capture more than your thoughts, more than your voice, more than your breath. So the next time you press record in the middle of the night, ask yourself one simple question. Are you sure you're the only one being recorded? Because some things wait patiently in the dark for the moment you decide to listen, and when they finally speak, they usually say only one thing: Memento Mori. Remember, you will die. This is Evan Blackwood, and this was Whispers Unseen, stories written in darkness. Subscribe